Welcome everybody, Carlos here. Let's get trading together. So I can see the VIX is negative, NQE is positive. We're going to start looking for opportunities into the market, into the buy side. It's 9 a.m. in the morning. We're going to start looking for great opportunities. So one of the key factors that we need to pay attention is the fact that the VIX is massively negative from top to bottom. In a correlation, we're just going to be focusing on going long NQ or ES as we speak. YM is a little bit mixed, stand away from it. Gold seems to be bullish, but if you notice from M30 all the way down, it's still grayed out, meaning there is not yet much push from the big players behind it. Crude oil, it's mixed. So again, focusing on the Russell could be a great opportunity from top to bottom, over 233% overall strength into the market. Anything past beyond 150% is a bullish outlook. Same thing applies here on the ES. It's over 150, just reaching right here and there. But with the VIX in over 240% negativity, that's basically focusing on into long-term perspective, bullish on the NQ, on the ES, and the ones that I'm really interested in. Other than that, we don't see any opportunities. Moving into the equity markets on the right side, Amazon seems to be in the bullish mode. Anything below the M15 all the way down, that's what the true north or power of interest would be. Doesn't mean that it's not going to correct, meaning if you see the market correcting in the opening, that's totally fine. As long as these guys are strong, it's just a pullback to continue higher. That's how you play the game on the long run. That's our secret to predict movement and forecast the next movement with super high accuracy. Okay. With enough that, let's just bring the charts and see what we can find at this point. All right, we're back. Here's a 4-hour chart. Massive bullish movement into the last week, and the market gapped down massively today, which was a great opportunity as the market tends to typically go and close a gap. So here's my play today. It is 9:13, so my expectancy for the market on a lower time frame, let me bring this on 15-minute chart so you can understand. We're expecting the following. We're expecting the market to push downwards a little bit to eventually go in and close the gap. So that's in a nutshell what I'm expecting at this point. So the whole point here is I'm just giving you a rough number here. From the high to the closing the gap, we're about 88 points of opportunity. And that's where we're going to be going after. Okay, that's simple and straightforward. The market is just basically giving us that opportunity, and that's what we're going to be aiming for as we speak. What I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be using the following data from the previous high and so on and so forth, and identify certain levels of resistance on the way up, because I don't want to be getting caught off guard, and that's going to be our play today. Awesome. Now we're going to bring everything together on a easier path. I need to see where we're at in terms of the big players' intent, and that typically identify what we call a no trade zone from London Open, 8 o'clock, 8:30 reports, and so on and so forth. All right. So our focus at this point is to make sure that we have everything lined up. I'm going to switch to micro contracts here for a moment. All right, here we are in the micro contracts, and now I'm going to unveil secret areas or hidden pockets. We're using one of our tools, Smart Money Levels. So we enable this, and there you go. Now we have a full blueprint for us. This is basically weekly no trade zone, and typically when we see this weekly established, this is basically on the pre-open on Sunday. The market tends to gravitate in creating order flow or order blocks around those areas based on big players. So as far as the prices go, if we hover above it, it's bullish, the tendency. If they sustain themselves below it, it's bearish. Market open, as you can see on Sunday, it just sold off from it, held accordingly until it broke free from it and is bullish. So this indicates a definitely bullish tendency. This is the previous low of the previous day. This is where we're hovering at. We have also these horizontal lines. Let me turn them off so you can see what I'm talking about. So if you turn them off, these are going to be our targets. Our main goal is going to be this one on the top. That's where I'm going. And I'm expecting a little bit of a pullback. This is basically a resistance zone. So I'm just going to be patient. Market opens. I'm not going to follow through with it. This is a main goal for the initial burst or push, but I'm looking for a pullback to continue. And one way for us to be able to do that without thinking much is we wait for the market to open, and it will create kind of an opening range, as you can see somewhere in here. This is a conglomerate of basically ranges or order blocks area, mount one on top of each other, forcing everything to act as a massive wall or ceiling in this case against the market bullish, and the market just try to go down. The yellow one is the one that I'm interested in because this is the London market. Market tend to grow back into the London open at basically 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time, and that's kind of the pace of the intention of the big players. Notice how after 9:30 the market gravitates towards the London and bounce from it, right? That's what happened on the last trading day. Okay, so we need to pay attention to the fact that we also have a few things going on. So let's just bring in the OT. And here we go. We got everything that we need on our side. This is basically what I'm going to be focusing on, what we're going to be trading at. And I'm going to drop to a 5-minute and just patiently wait for the market to pull back down and give us the opportunity. One of the key factors for me is to measure basically what is the size of the swings on a 5-minute. Not bad. I'm accustomed to around 50 to 80 points. So this seems to be kind of a decent setup. And I'm going to be looking for a pullback to continue on the upper ground. So the market might open, burst through, wait for a pullback, and then I'm going to be looking for long positions, definitely, right? So I'm going to be trading 3 contracts for now, and that's what I am going to be working on. Okay, so I also use at the bottom a very decent clarity of cumulative delta. So basically the cumulative delta just broke prior swing high. I have a unique way of using them. This is basically the consensus of who's controlling the market based on order flow, and basically just bullish being control. So I would love to see a little bit of a red, meaning sellers pushing in, meaning buyers from the early stages starting to collect. Right on the top on the previous high, that's where the fake outs start happening, and the market tends to gravitate against that. It's, a manipulation or liquidity void. The market pull back down to continue further higher. I'm trying to, explain multiple ways to skin the cat. All I'm saying is my job is to understand what to expect from the market, not react to that. My goal is to buy anywhere in here because this is my goal. All right, that's all there is to it. So with that being said, I'm going to pause the video and bring back the results. Market just broke the new high. Beautiful. Beat prior to the 930. That's even better. Finally, let's see what we have for the reports today. And we have FOMC speaking at 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock, existing home sales, low impact. So we're at the mercy of the price structure or price action. Very straightforward and simple, ladies and gents. Look at the VIX, massively negative. We're looking for long positions only. Okay, so let's just sit down, wait it out, and I'll bring back the results in a moment. All right, market opened, and we have everything that we need at this point. So I'm patiently going to wait for a pullback, and once we have that, I'm paying attention on the right side here. I like to usually wait 15 minutes. Perhaps even 30 minutes into the market. Just allow them to do their thing, and then for me to have more clarity. So right now, we're doing a research and development test on this new tool, which basically read pending momentum based on delta percentages changes. It's something interesting. And everything is bullish at this point. So I would love to see the M1s, M2s start losing ground, because that's just going to tell me this is a different thing, right? So I'm here. Look at the right side on the OT. Massively bullish tendency on the correlation. VIX negative, bullish, ES, NQ, so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is, you see here that this is just losing ground. It's telling me these guys are about to start doing the pullback, which is what I'm actually hoping for. All right, so all I have to do is just sit back and wait. Let me turn this off for now. Well, no, I mean, I can stay with it. So give me a second. Let me double check here. Yeah, so I'm going to wait out and wait for the pullback, and I'll show you basically my decision making, right? And look at this. You see, this is telling me that the pullback might get started, right? I like to go into a 15-minute chart even better. Again, this is no FOMO, no trying to trade the open. They might burst and continue because everything seems to be bullish. But I've learned my lessons, right? So the pullback is the key factor here to continue further higher. So standing by. All right, we're back. So pretty quick. So I just created here. You see this zone right here is something that I'm looking for the market to get into. This darkish zone. So I'm hoping for the market to get into that or touch it. So that's going to be our play. Everything seems to be kind of bullish at this point. So we'll see about that in a moment. And everything seems to be going perfectly aligned as expected. I can see the delta going into the negative grounds as the market progresses. I can see it right here as well. But on the long-term perspective, we don't change our thought process. We're bullish. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to start going into the potential tendency of a breakout entry. And yeah, we'll go with that. So back to 5 minute. Let's see. And we'll wait for it accordingly. I don't like it, the fact that they haven't done the pullback as I really wanted it to be. Something is off, right? But we're pretty close to the previous day close, which is what we're after. And yeah, so for those reasons, let's just sit back and wait. I'm gonna step aside for a moment. Step aside. I need a decent pullback, and that hasn't happened. This is telling me that the pullback's still on the play. This is great, and that's all I care about. I need the pullback, and I need this area. I'm going to turn this off so you can see what I'm talking about. I need this area to be breached as we speak, right? This is the area that I'm looking for. Back into this zone. We're above the important zones of the early morning. That's a bullish outlook. But if they can come back and get inside this conglomerate or cluster, it would be absolutely beautiful. So that's what we're after. All right, our tool is doing its job. It's saying that you see here on the right side, the pullback is happening. Beautiful. This tells me the true nature of what the market is going to do, which is perfect. Now I feel a little bit better and confident on placing my entries. I'm not clicking confirm yet until I make a decision. I need this to get inside there. We already hit that important level. Slingshots are massively powerful to the downside. To trade against them or as targetings, right? Right, moving into the 5 minute chart. So now I feel like perfect. There you go. We're in it. That's what we're after. I'm not a short-term trader. I'm a swing trader. So I like to go by 15 minutes and 1 hour. So even 4 hours. So I'm paying attention to all of these. And the play here, remember, my play is closing the gap. All right, so this bar is right in here, exactly as I expected it to be. If we break the barrier on the bottom here, then everything changes. All right, let me bring back my smart monies. Beautiful. And everything's still in play. Okay. Here's my entry. It's above this level. which is also kind of the top of the no trade zone on the 9th. Let me enable this one. Yeah, that's the one. 2 minutes left, and that will kind of suffice the first 10 minutes. This looks good. Look at the OT on the right side, still bullish. Beautiful, that's great. All right, standing by. This pretty much would be my play at the initial tendency, but if I'm going to be going after it in the long run for the new highs. All right, standing by. Now here's the trick, guys. You see the VIX extremely negative. This is beautiful. I mean, we can go long anytime now. I'm using multiple layers of confirmation when the transition is about to be finished. The first layer was this zone in here. Technically speaking, I could go long anywhere from rejecting this zone. I just want price action to validate it. So it's kind of a stacking of it. Number two, you see that the delta, cumulative delta hasn't changed, indicating that sellers are still in control. That's another layer of confirmation. So I'm using, again, multi-stack layers of confirmation. The next thing that I'm noticing is you see here, the M1 on the OT level is losing ground. That's totally fine. That's exactly what I'm looking for. As long as the VIX is negative, it's just a pullback. But look at how it's gaining momentum back again from losing power back into the positive number. That's what we're looking for. And the next thing is time and price relation. Time and price relation, as I mentioned, I like to usually wait about for the first 15 minutes, and we're approaching that. Right? So if I go to a 5 minute, we're talking about literally 3 more minutes or so on the 15-minute chart, right? So this bar will close in the next 15 minutes or so. That's totally fine. And I want to make sure that everything stay intact into the tendency of the market. The goal here is try to nail the intention of the market and wait it out accordingly. At the open, a lot of buyers from the early morning should have been closing out, but that hasn't happened yet. So I am going to be going long at this place right here. Everything seems to be going good, 200% on the M1 again. I see the momentum kind of finishing at this point. If we go to a 3-minute chart, that seems to be kind of, again, the transition happening. But this zone that you see right here, the one that is automatically played with us, that is what we call an order flow cluster between buyers and sellers. So it's working right now as a wall or a ceiling in this case. And technically speaking, we're trapped right in between both of those, right? So if I show you what I mean by that, it's we're trapped in here. we want to clear that out. So there's no tendency yet. That's the reason I suggest you to go in a bigger time frame and look for a little bit more clarity, right? So I noticed that the market just pulled back down. The zone that I explained to you, this is a rejection zone. This is manually done. That is my high probability, tighter risk entry. But why didn't you went long on it? I just explained. I like multi-layers of confirmation before I pull the trigger. That's my take. VIX negative, ES positive, NQ positive. So this is basically what we're after at this point. I'm going to be looking for an MES tendency or trade setup as well. I'm going to be looking for a long position here. This one is a little bit more tricky, so I'm going to be using the high. As a matter of fact, I'm going to wait it out. Let me go back to NQ. No setup. All right, 15-minute coming up now, which is great. And no entry yet. There's no validation. Look at the sellers are still in control, right? Long-term perspective on the right side. Controls minus.
15 minutes for the next event.
So we got existing home sales coming in 15 minutes. So the market might be expecting or waiting for that. That's great. Structure-wise, again, nothing happening. As long as I'm above all these clusters, we're still bullish. And the VIX massively negative, I'm still bullish. I'm going to wait for the pullback to finish. Nothing happening, so standing out. Beautiful. Now, I have another layer here that you might be interested in to know. You see this link shot on the bottom, 25,134. It would be awesome, absolutely stunning if they come all the way down there. The VIX with this negativity, I will buy right into this level. The next one would have been this 25,162, which they already bounced from, but I'm using that as a gauge of filtering, not a decisive counter trend level. The counter trend level will be this one because it's just sitting on top of the other ones. These guys are coming back. There you go. We're in. Beautiful. So here we go. So let's see what we're after. Look at the OT, 200%. VIX massively negative. The pullback is not finished yet, 57 seconds until this bar closes, but basically, in other words, what we're after is that level right there. So the predicted level that we're after is going to be the level of the 25,281. So I'm going to be closing 2 out of the 3. There you go. There you go. Let's see if that tendency is there. So I hope you're seeing the whole process here. It's a real combination of the time, price, levels, zone, exactly where you want to go. And the OT is the king. But you could have gone long all the way down there. You do you, right? Everybody does whatever they want to do on their own terms. But my predicting thing is that's where I'm after. Let's see if we hit that level as we predicted before even the market opened, right? That's what we're going for. Let's see if we can hit it. All right, so it's 9:50 now. As I mentioned earlier, I'm always going in. You like to wait about 15 minutes. Let the market do its thing, and then you'll come back and focus on the rest of it. So there's no need for us right now to risk anything. So I'm going to move everything. Target is being hit. And I'm going to move here, and I'm going to be blocking this. So what are you going to do now? Here's the beautiful part of this. The next level that I'm going after is this blue level right here, 25,364. If I decide that this is basically what I'm going to go after, meaning I'm going to day trade the rest, that's fine. But that's not who I am, and this is not what I do. So what I'm going to be doing is switching to 50 minutes. And I'm going to let you know in a moment what I'm after. And this is the play that we're going to go for. I'm going to go for the previous day high, and I'm trying to swing this for the remaining of the day if we don't get stuffed out. That level that we talked about, that level right there is a highly protective level. The market might come back down, takes us out, but I already made the profits that I was looking for. This is just a runner. I might as well place a trail all the way down there, but that will not make any logic to me. I'm just locking about $20 to cover the cost of that transaction altogether. You see this level that is called L2? That now suffices as it was resistance, now is support. As long as my trail stop is below that level and the high of the previous 15-minute bar, I'm kind of okay. We teach all of this, right, in our forecast mastery program, but this is as far as I can take it. I'm not willing to risk anything, but I know exactly how to navigate and manage the trades so I can give them the chance to give me for the long-term perspective of what I was looking for. If I were to play this the long game based on what I'm seeing on the OT, we just got out. That's it. For the sake of this video, that was the play. But I would probably place my stop on the way below and be okay with it. There you go. So this is basically the trade setup of today. So before you walk away and say, okay, I get it, but I couldn't get it or whatnot, the truth of the matter of the whole thing is that you had the chance, right, and the opportunity to walk away with about 70 points of setup. And before you say anything, here's how this translates. If you go by 60 points times $20 on a mini, that's $1,200 per contract, right? And we traded about $2,000 in that opportunity, which in our case was about $219, right? On micro contracts. And again, I'm doing micros because I want everybody to understand that this is absolutely doable. There's no need for you to say that you require a lot of capital and whatnot. Anybody who has a decent size of understanding that risk factor could be controlled as long as you know what to look for and what to expect, this is exactly what you're looking for. And $200, right, times, let's just assume that you do this on average. The word is not perfect, but let's just say you pull this, you control it, you time it as we showed it in here, which is quite difficult for a lot of people, right? But let's say you control it, you time it, and you get in, get out, and walk away with $200 a day. That's $4,000 a month, right? 12, that's about 48K. However, the true nature of the potential in here is times 10, which is the mini contracts. You're talking about almost $500,000 a year. So with that being said, this is Carlos. I hope you enjoyed it, and you follow this video later on. It's 9:54. I'm going to let you in with where this is going. Hold on, because I like to, that's who I am. I like to showcase that and be who I am. I want to put my name
5 minutes
the potential
for
is.
the next event.
So as the market progresses, once we close, and if we close above 25,300, my words, if we close, we're about to fill the gap right around 333. If we close above 2,500, VIX massively negative, ES bullish, and Q bullish. Ladies and gentlemen, this was easy today. OT showed me the way. If you don't use this tool the way that it's supposed to be, people think this is a buy now, sell now. What the hell are you talking about? It's not. This is Barometer. This is basically the true north. It's kind of the crystal ball of what the market is about to do. It's not going to do it as fast, but it tells you the true nature of the market. It's your job, as you saw that I was using multiple iterations of systems, zones, delta transitions, order flow, all these nuances, those are the triggering factor and the management factor. But the true north, the reality of the fact, where is this going, up or down? It was labeled in here, completely easy for us to understand. While it was clearly showing us, step away from YM. Don't even think about gold. Crude oil now is going down, but not there. Russell was the next one. Boom. And if we switch to Russell, right? Look at this movement. Boom, right there. We could have participated on that. Remember the ES that I was looking for? Look at the move right there on the ES. Boom. And the target hit that we did as well. Anyways, this is what I'm trying to explain. That's the power of the OT. If you're not yet part of it, just get started with your trial. I promise you, once you learn how to use it and trade with it, you'll never go back from it. So anyway, going back into here, my target today, 25,452, 25,521. We are talking the market. If we close above that 300, it's still going to provide us with about 150 to 200 points left. This is Carlos. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Put your comments below and sign up for the OT if you're not part of it. If you're interested about learning more about the forecasting framework, the exact same process or thought process that I just showed you here, and preferably if you trade mini contracts, you're a real good, well-funded trader, reach out to us, schedule a call. Let's just see how we can help you out, and I'll explain you more about what is all included and what is it that you're going to learn. Guaranteed you will learn it. That's my name on it. How to forecast market as I just demonstrated here for you. My name is Carlos, and I'll see you in the next video.